Peace. Dang, listen. Peace, family. What's happening? Peace. What's going on, everybody? This is your brother, Sayyeed Olubala. And once again, you are tuning in to Organic Talk Live. Today, we got a special guest, a brother who I've been watching for a minute. I've been watching him for a minute. Brother hails out of Detroit. The brother hails out of Detroit. The brother is very knowledgeable on subjects that I'm interested in. So that's pretty much why I've been kind of watching the brother. So let me invite the brother on. let me get the brother on, and we can get right in it. Hope everybody's day is well. Mine has been spectacular. We're doing this on this page because, man, Facebook has blocked me on the other page. So we have to do it on this page. But nonetheless, those who's supposed to see this will see it. And those who have not yet or didn't tune in when it was being aired live will catch it on the replay. So let me invite the brother on, and we're going to get right into it. Boom, there's my brother. Bro, if you on, bro, it say you can't bring in your... Hold on. Boom, approve. There you go. Yeah, we got you in now, bro. Peace.
All right. Peace. Peace. Can you hear me?
Peace. Man, peace. Yes, sir. Free the land, African.
By any means.
By any means. How's my brother?
All is well, man. Just taking one day at a time, grinding, getting ready for the 50th Nation Day, coming up here, man, just, surviving pretty much.
Okay. Man, for the people who are not familiar with you, bro, man, why don't you, matter of fact, introduce yourself, and give the people just a little taste of who and what you are.
Indeed, man. I'm Ikemba Sekou Agulu, hail from Detroit, conscious citizen of the Republic of New Afrika. I've been officially a conscious citizen probably since 2015. My godfather is actually Milton Henry, isOPAdele. Man, pretty much, grew up at his house in Pontiac.
Mm-hmm.
Born and raised in Detroit, man. Just here for the people. Right now, just active with a few cadres organizations, isOPAdele Society, MXGM, the National Union of New African Workers, and I mean that's pretty much it, man.
Man, tell me, what is this isOPAdele Society? I be seeing it. Matter of fact, I'm following the isOPAdele Society on Instagram.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, man. So my comrade Quasi, he's also from Detroit. Owner of the Shed. Revolutionary business, man. He been a citizen of the Republic of New Afrika since the 90s. So he actually is, founded the isOPAdele Society, and it's an organization, man. We just wanted to continue the legacy, free the land, comrade. I think it's one of the grandsons of the isOPAdeles. We just wanted to continue the legacy and the work, man, of the isOPAdele brothers. For instance, just like Black History Month, you always hear about Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Sojourner Truth, but you rarely hear about, you know, Mari Obadele, Gaidi Obadele, Queen Mother Moore, Mama
Mm,
Abdul Kari. So it's, man, it's our freedom fighters that you know, their legacy. You know, we can't let their legacy fade away. You know, Chokwe
right.
Lumumba. So it's more of a it's an organization, man, to raise consciousness about the politics of independence, land, and socialism or New African Ujamaa. You know, to get get our people politically on one accord, man, right? You know, to raise that consciousness. So you'll see, you know, Brother Quasi is the main one that run the page, but he's a wealth of knowledge, man. Uh, you know, when I connected with that brother, man, he gave me a ton of books, uh, you know, papers, handouts, you know, just a lot of political education, uh, you know, to raise my consciousness.
Hmm.
So, you know, he's constantly right now, man, he's over, you know, overseas,
I think in Palestine,
putting in
right?
work. Yeah, well, yeah, he's in Lebanon. They in Lebanon.
Okay.
You know, he putting in work, man, building bridges, you know, for the Palestinian, you know, independence movement, too as well. You know, just to build that alliance, you know, because you know, as they're an oppressed people, you know, we're an oppressed people too as well. You know, in the same struggle, and these strategic alliances are important. Um, you know, because we can't be in silos. You know, we have to help. You know, we have to help each other. We have to, you know, all oppressed people, man. We got to work together. You know, to win. You know, so you know he's over there doing that.
Hmm. Okay, you mentioned the Obadele brothers and Queen Mother Moore. I know I'm vaguely familiar with who Queen Mother Moore is. Um, but you're right, we don't hear these names during quote unquote Black History Month or on the regular. We don't hear
Right.
these names. Um, what could we do as far as this is just my opinion. Those of us, I'm 40, those of us who are 40, 35, late 20s, I think for me, this is my concentration, is the babies. The ones who are 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. What could we be doing for them to continue the legacy for the to keep the remembrance and the legacy of the Obadele brothers and Queen Mother Moore and uh, those of those like.
You know, just to to continue to educate. You know, I mean, one thing that we strive for, as New Africans, is our own institutions. You know, we have to build our own institutions. Have our own holy days, because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people, we do, like I say, quote unquote Black History Month, but how many people recognize Black August?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, that's another. I mean, to me, not to say one is, Black History is 365, of course, right?
Right.
But Black August, man, that's a holy month.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's something that we have to push. That's something that where we recognize, our our freedom fighters that went on to the ancestors, and also our freedom fighters are still here with us. Either be behind the wall, um, or out here in in the field with us. So and it's a lot of people that's pushing different programs, and we just have to get plugged in. We plug to get plugged in and to um, promote.
Right.
Promote. I mean, it's Amari Obadele, um, Gaidi Chokwe Lumumba. I mean, they have a ton of books that have went, some are available, some are out of print. Uh,
Also,
but
that was my next question. Sorry, brother, to cut you off, but they
yeah,
do have books on the Obadele brothers and Queen Mother Moore and um,
Yeah,
Choke
well,
weight
some of them
removal.
I know. We know some people right now are working on books. You have some scholars that are putting putting out books. One brother, man, Christian Davenport, man, he wrote an excellent book on the Republic of New Afrika, which has a lot of them in it. Why social movements die. And he's on schedule. He's on the agenda to be at the 50th. But he has a lot. I mean, it's like thesis, a lot of information about all those that were involved in the movement. Papa Wells. Um, I mean, like I said, Mama Abdul Kari. A lot of people that were involved in the movement whose names that we barely hear about. But even Amari Obadeli. I mean, he wrote a ton of books. That we working on. A lot of the elders and people in the movement are working on to get them back in print. So the public can have access to them. But it's just, it's a struggle right now. It's difficult. Because it's only, sometimes only a few people will have copies or have the manuscripts, then it's publishing and things like that. But that's the goal, to get their books, back out in circulation. I mean, because Mario Batali wrote a ton of books, man. I mean, he was a scholar, that we don't even, I mean, his mind, he's probably one of the greatest minds, uh, that walked this planet, man. If you read, the Article 3 briefs, that they wrote, and a lot of the stuff that we have is it's electronic, it's on digital copy. But the Article 3 briefs, man, how he, put together, I mean, so eloquently, the, the, the reason for our liberation. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like, man, his mind was so great, so we can't lose that. We have to, bring this stuff, to surface, and put it back into people's hands and put it back in the baby's hands too, so they have access to that.
Right. I we know that it's not about people having their name said or people um, getting praise or whatever, but we understand that um, those of us who've been putting in work, or those whose shoulders we stand on, they deserve our respect, uh, to continue to keep their names ringing. Um,
Hmm.
and I heard you say that, uh, was it Omari Obadeli? He has books that are in digital form.
Yeah, I mean,
How can someone reach
some of
that?
them we have like manuscripts. I mean, it's like digital copies. Some people have the manuscripts. Um, I know very few people had an actual book. Uh, because they just weren't in, a lot of books. They just don't, the publishers make so many copies and people are not buying them, then they just, go out of print.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of elders still had their books. Like if you come, I mean, it depends on, I'm sure they're going to bring some stuff to Nation Day. I mean, man, I've been to Nation Days in the past, man, and just see the stuff that the elders have. And I know
Right.
the brothers down in, the comrades down in Jackson, right now, Kali Akano, um, forgive me if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but, the comrade, he's working on, he's with Cooperation Jackson, working on preserving one of the houses, one of the government houses of the Republic of New Afrika, and making that a community center or library to preserve the history, of a lot of our ancestors and elders.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think that's going to be huge too as well, so people can have a place to go, and visit and look at this stuff, because it's a lot, man. I remember I saw one of the elders had the actual copy of the letter that Amari Obadeli and Gaidi Obadeli sent for the Black Government Conference in 1968. Sent to the Black nationalists. from the Malcolm, they were the Malcolm X Society, and the Organization on Advanced Leadership, when they invited a lot of the nationalists, out to meet at the 20 Grand Motel in Detroit when the Declaration of Independence was signed. And actually, Queen Mother Moore, she was one of the first original signers of the Declaration of Independence.
Right.
For the Republic of New Afrika. So, to have that letter, to see that letter, man, that's a piece of history, man, because you had over 500 nationalists,
Right.
Meet in one place, agreeing, on a strategy for liberation.
Just hearing that, it kind of put me in the mind of, I grew up and I went to school, public school, so I was ingrained with that whole declaration, signing independence, and you got uh, Henry, Patrick Henry, and all of these
Mm-hmm.
people, and they like literally worship those documents. So
Mm-hmm.
just hearing you saying that, that's like, okay, we got our own documents. And I know
Exactly.
there's some people that's probably tuned in right now that probably asking themselves, what the hell is the Republic of New Afrika? So could you kind of explain what the provisional government of Republic of New Afrika is and what it means to African people in this era of time right now?
Yeah, exactly, man. So, again, in 1968 in Detroit, the Malcolm X Society, and the organization, GO, the Organization of Advanced Leadership, this was who Amari Obadeli, Gaidi Obadeli, um, Reverend Albert Clegg, Jeramogi. They met in Detroit at 20 Grand Motel, man. They called the Black Government Conference. This conference was based on, how can black people here in America, how can Africans in America, exercise self-determination, nation building. So they met over, a few days. These are the days that we commemorate, the Nation Day, so March 30th to 31st and April 1st. And they created, they pretty much, man, declared their independence, man, from the colony, from the colony of the United States, and recognize that we are our own nation of people, man. Like Africans in America, I mean, we have a distinct culture, language, dress, speech, um, from other people in the world. And even though Africa is our motherland, but the Black Belt South, is the land where we have worked, sweated, bled on. Our ancestors, majority of our ancestors are buried there.
Mm-hmm.
That's for the past what really 500 years has been our homeland. So they declared that these states, 5 states in the Black Belt South, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, you know, would be the Republic of New Afrika. This is the base, of our nation, where the majority of our people are still there. The majority of our people, if you look at demographic maps, the majority of Africans in America are in the Black Belt South. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And this wasn't, and the thing about this, it was very strategic, man. This wasn't anything that like, okay, yeah, we just gonna make this up. What I mean? This was like, it had a historical continuity, from other elders even before them. So they wrote a Declaration of Independence, made a constitution called the Code of Umoja, helped create the African Creed, and the provisional government was started, during that weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the leaders in the provisional government, Robert Williams, Betty Shabazz, Jamil Alameen. I mean, you had a lot of nationalists who had offices in the provisional government, Chokwe Lumumba. Um, I mean, a ton of names. And the provisional government is still around today. And national elections for the provisional government, still go on today too as well. So, that's what, the Republic of New Afrika, we are, we say, just like this shirt, I don't know if you can see it.
We can't see it.
Okay, I'm about to, it says, like we say, Africans and, I know that this is controversial, so I'm gonna put that out there, but but
Man, hey,
politically,
this what we do.
right? But politically, what I'm saying, like, we say that, hey, we've been given names. We haven't come up with our own name of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Negro, color, African American, you know what I'm saying? But New African. Now, this is the name that ancestors historically agreed upon. I know a lot of people, they claim, they say, hey, I'm Hebrew, I'm Moor, I'm this and that. See, the thing about being a New African is not tied to a religion. You know what I'm saying? This is our national identity. So we have people in the Republic of New Afrika who are Muslim, who are Moors, who are Hebrews, who are Christian too as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But they identify politically as New African, dealing with other nations. So that's go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I was looking at the doing my writing of the political prisoners, and majority of the political prisoners are citizens of the Republic of New Afrika. And
Yes.
some of them are Muslim, some of them are Christians, some of them
Right.
have no denomination, but they are
Right.
Republic of New African citizens. Now,
Right.
since you opened the door, we're gonna go ahead and walk in. Because I know some of my brothers and sisters who are Moors, they gonna
Right.
want to have this conversation, and I think that we should have these conversations, not to debate each other and
Exactly.
try to have this I know more than you war, but just so we can get some understanding. If we can't agree, that we find a middle ground and we work on that middle ground, and that's it. Without putting what you believe down and without me putting down what I believe in. But anyway, what do you say to my brothers and sisters who are Moors, who say, we Moors, we're not, our nationality is, we're Moor. Our nationality is not New African. What do you say to them? How could you, I don't want to say convince, but how could you explain it to them to where that they see themselves in that provisional government, and they see themselves as a citizen of the Republic of New Afrika?
Right. I mean, I just break it down to them historically, because we have Moors in in part of the New African nation. Actually, one of our oldest citizens, Mama Condi, actually Reverend Condi Bay, she's out of Ohio. She'll be here in Detroit too. She's part of the Washita Nation. You know what I'm saying, which is Moorish. You know what I mean? So it's more of a political, more of a political stance. I mean, more is, I mean, we can, say historically, the term Moor has been used in various ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Saint Nicholas was a Moor. You know what I'm saying? Saint Maurice, he was a Moor back in Rome. You know what I mean? The Romans, they would call Africans Moors. You know what I mean? And I know I talk to different, I talk and build with different Moors. So different of them, some of them like to, rather go by indigenous. Some of them go by Moors, but, I say like this, man, I put down the, it's an ideological struggle, man. We have to me, the New African independence movement has a clear, concise method for liberation. You know what I mean? I mean, to be honest, by pushing paperwork, we're not gonna be liberated, man. You know what I'm saying? That's just being honest. You know, if I declare my citizenship as a Moor, you know, it's not gonna be honest, man. I'm gonna show you right here one of our political prisoners.
Man, I got that book right on my shelf. Yes, sir.
Man,
We are our own liberators.
we are our own liberators, man. So we have so many people who been in the midst of the struggle, man. I'm talking about in the battle from the Black Liberation Army, political prisoners, been behind the wall for almost 50 years, who identify as New Africa. It's like we should be like, when you vet people, you know what I mean? When you be like, when you straight, I'm trying to see how to best explain it, man. To see somebody who's qualified, you know, to give advice. You know what I mean? Like you said, most of our political prisoners identify as New Africans. You know, our political prisoners, man, these are people who have been in the midst of the battle. You know, a lot of, I mean, if what they say doesn't have weight, then what does? You know what I'm saying? Because they went head up with the empire.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Assata Shakur identifies as a New African. You know what I mean? And so I mean that's what I, you know, that's what I say. And it's all respect, it's all love. You know, I got a lot of, you know, comrades that are Moors. And if they want to identify, and the thing about it is, I never get into that you're right, you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? I present the information to let you choose. You know, if you want to choose, I'm like, no, we are, you know, we a Moorish, you know, Moorish nation, you know, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, my analysis from what I see, you know, for our liberation in a scientific analysis, you know, has come from the New African Independence Movement, and it's a historic, materialistic analysis. You know what I mean? And the thing about it is, like I said, anybody can be. I mean, and that's the beautiful thing about a New African. You know what I'm saying? You can believe any ideology, any spiritual ideology that you want, you know, but, you know, the main thing is this New African creed, though, you know, is agreeing upon these principles, you know, so you can be a Christian, you know what I mean? You can be, like, say, a Muslim, a Hebrew, a Moor, but, you know, these are our points of unity right here. You know, with the New African creed. And I think that's one of the things that have, you know, bring unity amongst people.
Man, that's what's up, brother. And I'm sure that there's gonna be the question of, yo, I'm hearing about this government of New Africans, and I'm kind of gonna, this question is gonna be kind of like the devil's advocate. My brothers and sisters who they are red, white, and blue, stark through and through, they're gonna say, man, we already got a government. It's the United States government. What do you say to my brothers and sisters who like, man, listen? I go spit it out, brother.
Yeah. Hey, but you know what? Here's the thing, man. Historically, I'm breaking it down to you like this. Historically, when, you know, Africans in America were emancipated, right? 1865. Citizenship was forced upon our ancestors. You know what I mean?
Something
And
that they didn't even ask for or want.
didn't have a choice. So look, all we saying really, us and a lot of people, other people, man, is like, look, man, we really should have a plebiscite, a vote, a choice, a people's vote. Is choose. We should have a choice, man. After we were emancipated, because you had some people who wanted to be citizens of America, you know what, and that's fine. Some people, they wanted to go back to Africa. That's fine. Some people wanted, you know, to build upon the land where they sweated, bled, buried their ancestors, and be sovereign. You know what I mean? And have
Mm-hmm.
their own way. Like, look, we want to govern ourselves without any ties.
Right.
So we should have that choice, man. And everybody is free to choose. So I think that's what was beautiful about, our humanity, man, is we want to self-determine, So I would say really, compared to international law, the 14th Amendment, man, is illegal, because we can't force our answer. You can't force citizenship, on a people, on a group, probably what back then was 20, 25 million of people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then it's still in the courts, Supreme Court, Dred Scott decision, saying that we weren't citizens. You know what I'm saying? In the Constitution, it says we still 3/5 of a human.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We still not treated as, even though we have civil rights, but it's more of a benevolence. Like, hey, we're gonna just grant this to you just because we're not gonna really view you as citizens, so it should be a vote. Because really we are an internal colony. We are a colonized people, man. The ghettos are a neo colony, if you think about it, because in the ghettos across America, man, and African communities across America, it's the same blueprint. The Africans in that community do not control the politics, do not control the economics, or any hardly any social aspects. And,
Right.
and and that's really the definition of a neo colony. You know what I'm saying? So we're still a colonized people, man. You see outsiders, foreigners, controlling everything. And then when
Mm-hmm.
people, Detroit is probably the best example, man. Had a, the honorable, the great Coleman Young, the first black mayor of Detroit, man. He had a black government, man. Had black economics,
Mm-hmm.
going on, um, for decades. The government came in, you know, pretty much, uh, pretty much bankrupted, you know, took over the schools, took over everything,
Mm-hmm.
and bankrupted the city, man. The government, man, a foreign entity came into the community, and the community lost control. That's the definition of a colony.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's really up to us, to put up that, to let the people choose. You know what I mean? If a person says, hey, I want to be an American citizen, even though I might not agree, but that's your choice. But I'm gonna give you information. I want you to make an educated choice, though.
Right.
That's the main thing.
So, what do you say to my our brothers and sisters? Because I see it a lot. We take this victimized role, as in, you know, just because we see African people um, doing things out of necessity or doing things out of survival, we feel as though we are our own worst enemies, like we the worst of the worst. But they don't see the colonization that's going on in our communities. What do you say to our people who have this mind that black people, African people, are our worst enemies?
I break it down historically, man. To be oppressed for 400 years, it does something to us psychologically.
Mm-hmm.
Man. That's when you have to, even more educate, man. Like, look, to read like Frantz Fanon, his book, man. He his writings, man, broke down the science of oppression, the psychological effects of oppression. How we can hate ourselves. We've been indoctrinated, to hate ourselves for years. Say for 400 years is a long time, man. That's generations.
Mm-hmm.
We've done the best that we can to survive. And then even, the sister Joyce DeGruy, with her book. you know, that what she wrote, what is it, the post-slavery syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So our minds, I mean, we have to see, you know, me, I try to see the good in everybody. You know what I'm saying? But you know, we still recognize that our external internal impression, man, has done a number on us. You know, and part of the first part of the New African Creed, man, the first, and that's what I love, man. Our elders, man, that were so wise when they came up with this.
Mm-hmm.
The first part of the New African Creed says, "I believe in the spirituality, the humanity, and the genius of Black people."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's a principle, you know. So when I look, you know, so I want to say like, we're not gonna look at ourselves as our own worst enemy. It's like, look, man, we have to develop our consciousness, you know, and it's not being like, you know, I guess what people will quote unquote consciousness and woke, but
Mm-hmm.
to see our situation, you know, even politically, you know, how we've been oppressed and think dialectically about getting out of our oppression. You know, so that's what I say to people is, man, we have to be patient with our people. You know, we have to move in, you know, we do have to move in love, and we have to work out our contradictions, man. We are people full of contradictions.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, but how did these contradictions come about? You know, our whole culture, our whole way of life was stripped from us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we have to rebuild that. And rebuilding that, man, you talk about 400 or 500 years. That's not gonna happen overnight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we expect, and that's the thing. Like, you know, the elders teach us about a protracted struggle. The
Mm-hmm.
word protracted means long, drawn out. You know what I'm saying? So this stuff is not going to be resolved, you know, within what, 50 years. It might not be resolved in 100 years, but it doesn't mean we stop working to it. It's a protracted struggle. Is we build step by step, you know what I'm saying, in a united, concerted effort,
Mm-hmm.
you know, toward our liberation.
What are some uh, materials study wise that a person would be interested in the provisional governor of the Republic of New Afrika? What could they, or where could they get some study materials where they can do their research before they can actually, you know, because people like to do their research. I know me, we like to do our research on things before we commit or say we commit to it. You know what I'm saying? Or
Hmm.
even get involved with something. I want to know what you are about.
Right.
Where can people get information about the Republic of New Afrika?
It's some information online. You know, if you Google the Republic of Africa, the Code of Umoja, that's, you know, UMJOA, that's the Constitution. The New African Creed, there's some of the founding documents, the Declaration of Independence. These are some of the founding documents of our elders.
Mm-hmm.
I will also say, you know, this book too, you know, Baba Jalil's book, We Are Our Own Liberators, man, has a ton of historical analysis and information about the New African independence movement, you know, too, as well. Um, and then too, and we have to do a better job of getting more stuff because it's not a lot of stuff out there online. You know, for one. So I know right now we're working on, you know, putting more stuff, making more stuff available, you know, for people to study, for people to learn. But you know, Baba Jalil's book is, I mean, has a ton of, I mean, this is a collection of over, you know, 30 years of prison writings, and he has a lot of analysis, a lot of historical analysis about the New African independence movement. And like I say, with the Code of Umoja, that's online. You know, you can look at that. You know, a few YouTube videos. Actually, you know what? Brother Hakeem's website. I think it's New
My brother
Africa.
Hakis
Yeah, yeah,
Kweli
yeah,
Shakur. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. His website actually actually an excellent resource. I think it's New African 777.wordpress.com. I mean, that brother is a wealth of information, historical information. Man, his website has a lot He does a good job, man. Follow him on Facebook and Instagram. He puts out a lot of good documents. I would say that's one of our griots, our historians, man, Brother Haki. He puts a lot of stuff out online. I would say go there, and then you can Google a lot of stuff too as well.
Mm-hmm. So if someone come across this video and they say, man, I want to be a member, or I want to join the Republic of New Afrika, how do I do it? What am I to do? Who am I to reach out to? There's no I don't see any people in my community waving a flag or nothing. So I mean, how do I identify with who's who?
Right. Really, it's just. Well, I'm gonna put this out here first. The Republic of New Afrika is not an organization. You know what I'm saying? It's a nation. So to be a conscious citizen, you just declare your citizenship, man. You don't need a certificate. You don't need anybody to swear you in, because because our belief is that this nation has always existed. We just gave it a name. You know what I'm saying? Our elders, 500 of them came to Detroit and agreed upon a name. So in order for African, I'm gonna put it like this, so I'm gonna put a disclaimer out there too. To declare it, you have to be an African, I would say a black person. You know what I'm saying? A descendant of a slave. Your ancestors came over here on the transatlantic slave trade, or were enslaved. Be black. Because we say that, hey, if you're a black person, a quote unquote African American black person, you're already a conscious citizen of the Republic of New Afrika. So it's declare your citizenship. As far as reaching out to somebody, we have a Facebook page. Google, searches on Facebook, Provisional Government of the Republic of New Afrika, and send a message, and somebody will respond to you and reach out and find people in your community, who are actively involved with the provisional government or the New African independence movement. That's another thing too. The New African independence movement is made up of different cadres. I thought white people could be New African too. No. Well, hey,
really?
You know what? They will have to be, so like this, a citizen, right? If you go over to Ghana, right? You a white person, you go over to Ghana and you want to be a citizen, you will have to be nationalized, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. Anybody can be a citizen, but a white a person that's not African American will have to be nationalized. Right, by the way.
Oh.
They would have to be naturalized.
Right.
So they would have to be go through a process, because we got Puerto Rican New Africans, Chinese New Africans, but they went through a process that was set up by our elders, our ancestors, for nationalization. But for you, a black person in America, you're a conscious citizen. You declare your citizenship. You don't have to be nationalized, because you already, this is your birthright.
So as far as, a nation can only rise as far as the workers, right? So
right.
Okay, I'm watching this live and I say, okay, he just told me that I was a citizen, so I'm a citizen. So do I just lay back and chill,
Right.
reap the benefits of the ones out there fighting, or how do I get in and start swinging? What am I to do?
Yeah, it's like I say, it's different organizations, different cadres that you can be a part of. If you want to get involved in the provisional government, you want to work in one of the ministries, you reach out to the provisional government. If you're not, a diplomat, you don't want to be in a government, it's other The Malcolm X grassroots movement, the National Union of New African Workers, um, the August 3rd Collective. Is different cadres, different organizations that fall up under the umbrella of the New African independence movement that are working toward the same thing. So it's just like, hey, whichever one that you want to connect with, that you want, where you see fit, where you can best serve, you get involved.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of fact, it's just a matter of reaching out, to them and, getting on the same page,
Right.
of them as well.
So, I know my brothers are going to ask this question. This is a controversial question, and
mm-hmm.
you and my brothers had this conversation on my post.
Right.
So, we might as well talk about that question. If you don't mind, brother, I ain't trying to
Exactly.
put you on the
No, go
spot.
ahead, man. Yeah, we can talk about it, man.
Now I got to see how I can word it. There go my brother Haki Kweli Shakur right there.
Comrade.
Yeah.
He came at the perfect time. He came at the right time, man.
Yeah. Okay, so my brothers are gonna say, or they're gonna ask and say, what is the Republic of New Afrika stance on homosexuality, interracial marriage, and those two subjects right there.
Right.
Interracial marriage and homosexuality. What are the stance of the Republic of New Afrika?
Right. I'm gonna say this, man. Right now, everything that we stand upon, the provisional government, Republic of New Afrika, can be found in the Declaration of Independence and the Code of Umoja. That's the first thing, and that's Hey, you had to take it there, Haki. I know you was gonna do it. I was preparing myself for this question. Hey, but that's the number one stance. And for one, in the Declaration of Independence, it says we believe for the liberation of all Black people, all African people.
Mm-hmm.
So that means if you a Black person, you in interracial marriage, if you a Black person, you a homosexual, we working for your liberation. We're not gonna cast you out. The New African Creed, it says that I will work to bring in my mothers, fathers, and brothers, those who are left by the wayside. We're not leaving anybody behind for liberation. Now, once we liberated, we sovereign, then we can come to the table. And if we want to make policy, and that's the thing. That's the beautiful thing about our elders, our ancestors, man. They made this as democratic. It's not a dictatorship. You know what I'm saying? We want it to be democratic. So once we liberated, we sovereign. If we want to meet and make a policy, if the majority of people voted on it, that's what we're gonna roll with.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do it in a concerted effort. You know what I mean? We're gonna do it based on principle. We're not gonna do it based on a reactionary method. But that's what we're gonna move toward. But right now, man, we worried about the liberation of all our people. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing, man. You pulled over, pulled over by the police. You executed by, our colonial forces, or say it like that. You executed by colonial forces. Are they gonna ask you, are you a homosexual? Are you straight? Are you married? Who you married to? No. You know what I'm saying? They looking at who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They not like we in the same struggle. So I mean that's like I said, for the one thing, if you want to know what we stand on, for one, look up the Declaration of Independence, and the Code of Umoja, the New African Creed. Those are the founding documents of the government. You know what I'm saying? And interpret off, based on that.
So is the government a nationalist government?
Yes, it's a nation. Yep.
Okay, being a nation, right? And I'm gonna tap this, and we're gonna get out of that, because I know my brother's gonna hit me up and ask me about it. Do you think that it is detrimental? And I'm not saying that everything that we do, as far as like rapists, pedophiles, and things of the sort, because I know that nobody is campaigning for pedophiles. I know nobody's
Right.
campaigning for rapists. So I think that distinction, I think that's where you and my brothers was kind of having that, um, um, I don't know, couldn't get the clarity on it, on that post that day, is because I know y'all saying the same thing, but it wasn't being conveyed the right, or the in the same manner or the same fashion.
Right. I feel what you're saying. You know what? I'll put it to you like this, man. And this is a whole nother conversation, man. And this is a historical, materialistic, dialectical conversation, because the society that we live in now, man, is a capitalistic, imperialistic society.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's set up patriarchal. You know, it's
Right.
set up a high. You know, it breeds off of oppressed people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know the question is, you know, you see a so-called push. People think it's, you know, a homosexual agenda for rights of homosexuals and things like that of the current colonial government, right? But you have to think, man, it's because of the society that the current colonial government uh, has set up. You know, what I mean by that is you know, trying to explain in a more simplistic way, you know, because it is deep, man. It's and you have to have a wide range of thinking to see the plot, man. Because you think about it, man, in a capitalist society, a few control the resources, you
Mm-hmm.
know, of the many. You know what I'm saying? So what I mean by that is you have a grasp of the population that's on top. It actually, you know, in an analysis way. So what's the best way to pass down wealth? The best way to pass down wealth is through your family. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? So you got the Bilderbergs. I'm trying to think of, you know, other, you know, rich families, but you got these families, the Waltons, you know, the 1%, man, they controlling everything. You know, so what this breeds, man, is a false sense of scarcity, which breeds oppression. You know what I'm saying? But in order of them to control this, man, they have to put certain policies in place. You know, they have to put a certain way of things in place. And what this did was it created an environment for oppression. Um, Now, is homosexuals, are they oppression the same oppression as black people? No, you know, can't say that it is, but they don't fit in the status quo. Uh, Me personally, I'm against anybody if somebody says that you're less than a human, no matter what choice that you make, that you're less than a human, you know, I have a problem with that because I'm stripping your humanity away. You know what I mean? Everybody deserves the freedom and the right to be treated with dignity, with respect. You know, as a human, like, yeah, we make right choices? Do we make no? Not all the time. We're not perfect, but we have to be principled. So, you know, in short, to answer that question, where you got people over here fighting for their rights, people over here fighting for their rights. Again, if you Google the New African Creed, the Code of Umoja, the Declaration of Independence, man, we want to promote the humanity of Africans here in America, you know, African Americans, no matter what background that you are from, and then too the rest of the world. Man, we trying to build a society better than what we know it right
Mm-hmm.
now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we can't build a society better than what we know it, being reactionary. You know what I'm saying? We're striving to be better than, you know what I'm saying, to be our best. You know, is it hard right now? Yeah. But we're striving to be, you know, to be better than, to be a new person. So it's really how we treat people, and we have to, you know, we have to come to conclusions. We have to agree on stuff democratically. So, you know, like I said, man, you know, I know this is very controversial, but, you know, if you study the Code of Umoja, if you study the Declaration of Independence, and these were by our elders, our ancestors, man, people who've been in the thick of it. You know what I'm saying? This is not just, you know, no ragtag person that's just like, yeah, I'm gonna come up with this ideology. This is 500 of our top minds who came and met together over a weekend, man, who, you know what I'm saying, had these questions. These are probably some of the same questions that they had, who came to a consensus. So this is the consensus that we have to strive to go after, man, and we have to perfect. And we have to have these conversations. You know what I'm saying? But we can't get, you know, reactionary. We can't get reactionary with it, man. We got to come to, you know, a consensus and agreement. You know what I'm saying? But me, like I said, I'm for the liberation of everybody that's faces any type of oppression. You know, any type of, man, that can't live their life to the fullest, their fullest potential because of outside forces. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what we got to strive to do, man. We got to lift up the humanity of everybody. That's one
My
of the main
brother
things.
Haki, Conrad, post your website in the comment section, brother. What's up, my brother? Peace, my brother James Heath. Man, peace to everybody who's tuning in. Peace to everybody who checked in, shared this. Man, we know you could be doing something other than what you're doing right now, but we appreciate your time. We most definitely don't want to hold you up. My brother has a comment. This is my brother Conrad. He said we can't build a society that's based on the same society we're trying to get liberated from.
That's
It's
it.
about principles for
Oppression.
building a better society that respects humanity. A
Exactly.
oppression-free society. Okay, peace, Conrad. You know,
Hey, I'm gonna say this too. I'm gonna say this too, man. The prison industrial complex, because a lot of people, the argument, and we can move on after this. We're gonna move on after this, but since we here, we gonna talk about
right.
it. Man, the prison industrial complex has done more harm to the black family than homosexuality.
Let me soak that up.
Think about it, man. This is, hey, you know what I mean? It's scholarship. Man, the prison industrial, think about, man, the prison industrial complex has affected us on all types of levels, man. Has economically, socially, mentally. When you have, I mean, I think it was an article, I saw an article a couple years ago that talked about all the, you know, the black men that were missing that have been in prison, man. When you got I don't know the statistics, but was it like what, 1 out of 3, 1 out of 5, or, you know, so it's a very, you know, massive number of black men that is affected by the justice system, by the prison industrial complex. And look when things, and then people, you know, a lot of people don't, and that's why you got to read books like this, man. This is where you got to get your education. You got to get education from people that's in it, from behind the wall, that's been seeing it, that's been in the struggle, you know, that sees the effect, you know, because for one, man, it's people, you know, that's getting caught up in the system, you know, not even had a trial yet, but, you know, been in prison for years. Waiting, you know, getting hit with felonies, man. It's just crazy. It's unbalanced. You know what I'm saying? It's destroying families, man. If you look at the history of it, you know, right after, you know, the Black Power movement, you know, in the 60s and the 70s with, you know, the governments, Nixon, you know, being tough on crime. You know, right after the civil rights movement, right into that Black Power movement. Boom, you know, laws were changing. You know, drug laws, war on drugs, um, mandatory minimums. You know, man, it did so much damage. You know what I'm saying, to the black, you know, to the black community, man. And you know, it's hard. You know, we really don't look at that. Um, you know, we put more emphasis on stuff that's out in the forefront because they want us to. They want us to focus on that because really it's going to really push their agenda, man. This right wing agenda. You know what I'm saying? Why they low key they making money off of our brothers that's behind the wall, man. Like right now, like you know, like what it was a few months ago, you know, they had the massive prison strike, where you know prison workers were being exploited. You know what I'm saying? These brothers are being exploited, man. It's slavery. It's you know what I'm saying, it's all about, you know, it's modern day slavery. You know what I'm saying? And it affects a lot. So I think the sister said, what about those who have down low relationships? That doesn't destroy the family. I'm not saying that it doesn't destroy the family. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that stuff doesn't. It's a lot of things that can destroy the family. But I'm saying it's like, look, man, we gotta, sometimes our focus can be, you know, like we focusing on this, you know, this problem right here, which is a problem, but it's like this, when it's like, bam, it's a bigger problem right here. You know,
we looking at our, once again, that goes back to we looking at ourselves as the culprits. We're not looking at the real culprits.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're looking at ourselves as the culprits because we are the ones who are perpetuating the stereotypes. We the ones that's perpetuating the so-called crimes. We the ones that's perpetuating the so-called crimes against society. But we not looking at the people who have created the conditions.
Exactly.
We're not looking at the people who have raped the land. We are not looking at the people who have taking all the economic structure, the educational structure, the spirituality structure. We ain't looking at that. We just looking at the ramifications of what they did, and we can battle back and forth and say we can't keep blaming the white man. Well, we ain't made him own up to what he did first.
Exactly.
He still ain't owned up to it, so we
Right.
have to.
Right.
And that
These institutions still in place.
That leads me to my next question as far as what is the Republic of New Afrika stand on reparations?
Oh man. Amari Obadele.
Safu. Peace, brother.
Amari Obadele, Queen Mother Moore, man, these are considered the one of the parents of reparations. You know, the parents of what up, brother? They consider the parents of reparations, man. We all for reparations. And Cobra, the National Coalition of Blacks on Reparations, one of the founders was Amari Obadele. So man, you know, some New Africans have been in the forefront for the fight for reparations, and not just talking about cutting a check, man, but you know, talking about land, different forms of reparations too as well. So not just, you know, you getting a check, you know what I'm saying, but you know, really, man, the base word reparations means repair. You know what I'm saying? It means repair, man. So like, yeah, like we
put us back where you found us.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it's that they have a lot of policies, man. Like I say, a lot of the elders, man, have been on the forefront. I wish I had my book with me. It was a book about, you know, reparations, which, you know, a lot of New African elders and ancestors, man, have Chokwe Lumumba, you know, and they wrote a book called Reparations, Yes. You know, it was a great book, man, that breaks down, like, gives a scientific analysis on why we need reparations. Like that.
Yeah. Man, just you know, every time I see us and we're talking about these issues as far as the prison industrial complex, or the prison system, or the judicial system, or the injustice, we always tend to lean back on the victimized role. We the victim. But we're not looking at the person who are creating the victims. Because if there's a victim, that's obviously somebody that's doing something to you, right?
Right. Right.
There's got to be somebody. If one person is, if we're going to be the victims, right? There has to be somebody that's victimizing us. So, but we don't ever look at the victimizer. We always look at the victims and say, man, them brothers out there selling drugs. Well, I mean, I don't think no brother is putting his life on the line selling drugs unless he's just totally crazy, but out of necessity. This is he's been placed in an environment, place him in an environment where he don't have to sell drugs, and I promise he's not going to do it.
Oh,
You know
exactly.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can't. I was one of those ones who looked at, man, bro, y'all need to stop, blah, 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 y'all need to stop. But once I looked at it and seen that everything was political, everything is political.
It is.
Everything is political.
It is.
Everything. Your community looks the way it looks because it is political. That is political. So, look, girl, what are you doing? Go put your clothes on, girl. She said, "What are your my sister Tiffany? She most definitely will be going in, brother."
Hey,
She says,
it's
"What are
cool,
your
man.
thoughts on Trump wants death penalty for drug dealers?" I think you should answer that question, brother, because
Yeah, man, we gonna have to resist against that. That's man, that's gonna equal genocide for our people, man. We not gonna accept that. We definitely not gonna accept that, man.
So my thing would be is our pharmaceutical companies gonna get the death penalty?
Bam, that's a good point. You're right, because
Is
they up here.
Is McDonald's gonna get the death penalty?
Yeah, they dealing all type of. You're right.
Is because those are drug dealers. Is the sugar companies gonna get the death penalty? Sugar is an addictive drug, so are they gonna get the death penalty? So you can't. I will never side with my oppressor against my brother who I see doing something out of necessity. I would
that's
never
reactionary.
side with my oppressor.
That's we not gonna have that. We not.
So
it's an agenda, man. Like you say, everything is political. We gotta see through this stuff, man. We have to. This is why political education, man. Like brother Quasi, man. One thing he, brother Yusuf, up here in Detroit, man. One thing that they taught me is political education, man. It was like, look, we can't be out here reacting to, all this stuff, man. We have to see the politics, man, see the strategy behind it, and have a scientific, a dialectical analysis, a historical material analysis to approach our oppression. That's the only way we can win. We have to study, struggle, study. You know what I mean? We just can't, we just come out here, reacting to stuff because like you said, everything is political. It has an agenda, agenda behind it. And for one thing, I don't think the powers that be not going to let them get away with the death penalty for drug dealers because that's going to mean no more free labor.
Exactly.
For them.
Exactly. And you know that Jordache, Boeing, all of these companies that profit off of slave labor, they most definitely not going for that because a lot of brothers are in there for petty drug offenses. So they most definitely, the recidivism rate with the brothers who may be even users and they get caught up with a little bitty little plastic and they send them to prison for 30, 40 years for something like this big, they not gonna green like that.
Oh man, they
No,
getting
that's
away with that
crazy.
free.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
And
slavery, man. Yeah, they ain't gonna
and
get
then you
that,
have
man. They gonna
and then you have to think about all the people that's on death row right now. That's taxpayers' money.
man, man.
Come
So
on,
yeah,
man. You
this
think they? So
yeah,
this idiot is talking about building a wall and killing drug dealers and y'all listening to this idiot?
I know,
Come
man.
on,
That's
man. Come on,
it's
man.
yeah, it's reactional. Say my man
Okay,
said.
my brother James got a good question right here because we in this era of time now where I have to say this. I have to say this. Hold on, let me get this right. I had to say this. I was seriously, bro. I mean, because this is crazy. I was on Instagram yesterday, and I just happened to be scrolling, and the sister's video popped up. I ain't gonna say her name, but the sister's video popped up, and the sister was on the video literally saying, "Who ain't got no money?" and started showing her diamond watch and pulling money out of her purse. Who ain't got no money? Who ain't got no money? And I was just flabbergasted because number one, there is like literally hundreds of people on this live video watching her, and I know she don't know them all. So you're literally trying to convince people who you don't know that you have money, and people out here struggling and will rob their mama, and you on social media trying to prove to people who you don't know that you got money. So my brother says, what do you say about those who say F all that struggle mess? We need to get money.
Right. Hey, brother, I'm gonna take it to what the elder said. You know what I'm saying? This because this ain't me, man. I'm gonna go, straight to the elders, to the ancestors, man. I'm gonna show you this right here, brother. I don't know if you can see it, but it says, "I will be patient and uplifting with the deaf, dumb, and blind, and I will seek by word and deed to heal the black family, to bring into the movement and into the community mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters left by the wayside." You know what I'm saying? That's the
Mm-hmm.
that's the new African creed, man. I mean, we have to be, we got to be patient with people, man, because that's a reactionary response of how they've been conditioned in a
Mm-hmm.
capitalistic society. It's about survival. It's about getting in a capitalistic society currency, because what is money? You know what I'm saying? What
Mm-hmm.
is we got to think about what is money, man? This fiat currency is not money.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you what real money is. Money is land,
Right.
because everything the resources, everything that we touch it right now, where do it come from?
The land.
The land. So I'm like, look, I respond like, look, man, if you ain't talking about land, you ain't talking about no money. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's why we say free the land. Like, look, I'm telling you, man, we have our own society set up the way that we want it, the way that we do it, man. It's gonna be like people like, they talk about Black Panther, Wakanda, you know,
Mm-hmm.
man, New Africa gonna be 10 times better than Wakanda.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's facts. And I say that as facts because of all the stuff that our elders then put out, the vision that they put out, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be 10 times better than people doing Wakanda forever, man. Look, we're gonna be, hey, free the land, comrade.
Free
It's
the
gonna
land.
be it's gonna be 10 times better than Wakanda. You know what I'm saying? So I tell that brother, like, look, man, come on, get with us. We about to get this money.
Right.
Land, independence,
I
socialism.
don't think no ma'am. No ma'am. What's that on your lip? I don't think that there will be a independent nation without businesses and without currency. Of course, there would be other forms of currency as far as the barter system. I got the potatoes, so and you got the rice. Let's exchange. That's how we move. But let me go back to Cash. I think it was Cash. That's Cash Out. Peace. What's happening to everybody that's on here tuning in? Said as long as we chase money and do as they do or play the game, we won't win because of the energy that comes behind politics, and money is evil. Big facts. And that's a fact. If we continue to try to I think Haki said, how you gonna try to get liberated or try to create another society off the same society that you
Right.
are trying to get free from?
That's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, of course we need finance to keep these lights on, to pay these phone bills that we.
But it's gonna be a different. It's gonna be a different way though. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a just transition, not in a capitalistic where one person or one company owns it, so we got to pay that company. You know, why not let the people own it and they decide? You know what I'm saying? They decide how stuff operates. You know, because we don't live in a democracy. You know, we live in a plutocracy. You know, where a small group of people really control the politics and economics, you know, behind society. So, you know, I mean, it's factions, it's societies out there that's working toward a just transition, you know, to make a kind of, you know, the economic more fair and more just, you know, but we got to be open-minded, you know, and see beyond what we've been given. And taught how to, you know, and taught how we, you know, are to operate. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, man, we most definitely appreciate, brother, you being on here. Man, this subject and this topic can go on for hours because there's so much that we could be talking about other than who hating on Minister Farrakhan right now. And I haven't even got caught up in that conversation because like it's pointless to me. I respect the man for who and what he is and what I've gained from him while I was a registered member for 10 years. But other than that, I'm not finna do that with y'all. But anywho, is there any official news letter or national publication put out by the PGRNA? That's up, Safo, Safo. Peace, comrade. We most definitely got to get in tune with you, bro. We most definitely want to push your story.
Yeah, it's not as far as for the provisional government. You know, it used to be, you know, they used to have a publication called, you know, Nation Time. You know, Baba, Mama, you know, Herman Ferguson, Yana Ferguson. You know, they put that out for years. But different cadres, different organizations, they do have, like the isOPAdele Society has a New African Voice. So we got some comrades down in Jackson. They pushing out their own publication. You know, I think, you know, Brother Haki, you know, he has his blog. So we got different factions that's, you know, pushing out different publications. You know, and keeping people, you know, involved in the New African independence movement. But as far as for the provisional government, since Nation Time has, you know, been, you know, no longer in effect, there has not been an official publication for the PG.
Man, that seems like that seems like a lot of work that needs to be done.
Oh, it is, man. It worked. Oh man,
that can be done, that people can just fit in, get in, fit in, and make it happen.
Oh man, it's a lot, man. It's to get these, you know, with the we got to hook up, get coordinated. Oh, definitely, yes, man. The provisional government. I mean, it's it's ministries, and I mean with the provisional government, with the National Union of New African Workers, MXGM, all these different cadres with the, again, I break it down. The Republic of New Afrika is a nation. With those within the nation, we fall up under the New African Independence Movement. Some people work with the provisional government. That's the government, the officiating body, comes out with policies and building toward that end. Is some people that do like more grassroots work. Like MXGM, Cooperation Jackson, the National Union of New African Workers, who don't want to get involved in the politics of it. The New African Black Lions, so it's different organizations. It's a lot of work, man, and a lot of people that people can get involved with, to push for independence, to push for independence, man. It's a lot, and another thing too, man, is we have to continue it. We have to let it continue. A lot of people in the New African, people in the New African independence movement, man, they elders, they getting older, so they passing it along to our generation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, like I say, at the end of this month, man, it's gonna mark 50 years of struggle. 50 years of struggle. Are we gonna let it, just cease? No, we gotta pass that baton. One of the themes for it is the past, present, and future. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, why are we, how are we going to build and pass all the stuff, man? Look, all these documents, man. You know what I'm saying? It's stuff from, stuff from our ancestors that we got to get out. Stuff from our ancestors that we got to get out, that we got to, continue to pass, to pass along. So it's like, yeah, we want people to get involved. Is it easy? No, and it is a struggle. You know what I'm saying? I commend certain people who've been on it since day one. It's like I said, if you make it to Detroit, man, you're gonna see people we got people that are alive today that were original signers of the Declaration of Independence that's still putting in work, active. It's since 60s and 70s, that's putting in work, man. It's doing more work than, some people in our generation, right. So it's like, we gotta, continue, we got to continue that, man. And it's definitely a lot of work to be done. Just got to get connected. A lot of people because it's not, the Republic of New Afrika is not out there like the Nation of Islam, like Moors, like other movements, just because of the nature of it. He said we need to get Mario Batali Bush Republics. Indeed, we was just talking about that too, comrade. Oh, my man said, how does one become a citizen of the Republic of New Afrika? If you were African American, a black man, your descendants are were slaves, you already a citizen. You just claiming it's your birthright. Yeah, man, it's but a lot of people get discouraged because it's not as a popular movement. Some people feel like they on an island. You might be the only one, representing New Africa in your city. Just because it's not, like I say in Detroit, one of the, where the conference was, it's a handful of us that's putting in work. You know what I'm saying? It's a nice, solid group, but people some people, man, they be like, I ain't know the Republic of New Afrika was still around.
Right.
You know what I mean? So people get discouraged and they just be like, yeah, this ain't never gonna happen. Because it's people, they hunger for stuff. They, like you said, people want more information on it. And it's not like, if you're not going to Haki website, other than that, there's not a lot of information online. So people just get discouraged and be like, yeah, man, I'm done with this stuff. Or they don't know what kind of work to do. Like, how can I get this stuff, working, but that's one thing that we're going to work on changing. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? We gonna get, set stuff up where if you know, by yourself, you know what I mean, and you want to build, and that's one thing that, again, I go back to this book because he talks about that. You know what I'm saying, about stuff that you can implement, and build, and gives you a step-by-step process on how to do it. So I think that's one thing is, I tell people, man, if you a New African citizen, man, we in this for life, man, until we liberate it. Don't get discouraged. You're not by yourself. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So, I just want to, leave you with that. A lot
I,
of
I,
people
I,
in here.
I think uh, just with this whole social media thing, because social media is, is happening right now,
Mm-hmm.
2018. It wasn't happening 20 years ago, 10 years ago. Social media wasn't popping, but work was still being done. So social media come in, and now work can still be done, but you can reach, like even with this broadcast right now, you can reach people who you probably wouldn't have never reached just by we having this conversation right now. You know what I'm saying? So if more people just started instead of talking about who won the game last night, and we talk about things that actually matter on
Mm-hmm.
our Facebook pages, on our Instagram pages, uh, uh, I think we can start seeing a whole lot more uh, uh, than what we see.
Right,
And
right.
a lot of us think that we losing, brother, and we not.
You're right.
That's
You're right.
that's what I be wanting to get to our people is we ain't losing. We
Mm-hmm.
not losing. If you still got breath in you and you still got Africans who are still on the front lines fighting, we ain't never losing or lost.
You're right. You're right. No,
You know what
never
I'm
that, man.
saying?
We never out,
We
man.
we still here.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I remember watching. In '89. I'll never forget it. The Buster Douglas Mike Tyson fight. And me and my pops had $1 bet on it. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
man, Mike Tyson finna smash this dude. Man, what happened? He got
Mm-hmm.
knocked
It
out.
came up. Right. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? But
You're right.
so that's all it takes for us is that one, not saying a one person, but that one event or that one
Mm-hmm.
um, um, thing that happens or anything, and boom,
Mm-hmm.
all of us would be like, yo, we need to be sovereign right now,
Right.
or else we
You're
ain't
right.
accepting nothing else. You know
You're
what I'm
right.
saying? We not
Yeah.
accepting no what Malcolm say, token integration. We not accepting the token. You know what I'm saying? We
Right.
want
Yeah.
we want independence right now.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Exactly. And
saying?
we.
So just look at the dang on the children walking out. They organized the national walkout, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine that the African people just organized a national we ain't going to work.
Mm-hmm.
A national we ain't going to work right now. We ain't, nope,
Man,
we ain't going to work.
that would just stop the economy, man.
I'm not sure if it'll stop the economy, but it'll be noticed.
Yeah, you're
Not
right.
only by people, not only by not corporations, but it'd be noticed by other Africans who probably wouldn't be with it.
Yeah, you're
So
right.
that's what I'm saying. It's like those things that if they was to transpire, who's to say what will happen? So we
Mm-hmm.
got to continue to fight, no
Oh
matter
yeah, definitely.
what arm you on, whether you're on the political side, whether you're on the self-defense side or the armed defense side, or you on the educational side, or you a vegetation side,
Right.
you the government. I mean, all of the parts are needed for a government to function, or a
It is.
society or a community to function. So just get in where you fit in. Get in where you fit in. What my brother said, he said, I used to correspond with the elder Chokwe Lumumba many seasons ago. Uh, in fact, I still have a copy of the Roots of the new independence movement he sent me. And I have been interested in furthering the new African agenda for many years. See, like my brother there.
Yeah, we want to connect, man.
Right on. I am in this. My brother, Amari Obadeli
That's his
says I am in
son. Yeah,
discussion with my family about Republic. Man,
yeah,
see,
yeah,
now I'm sure there's gonna be somebody on here that's gonna be like, "Yo, who is that?"
yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
Who is that?
That's his son, man. That's Amari
What's
one.
what's the title? What's the title of the books?
Right,
Now we finna go searching.
right.
So, nah, we ain't losing.
Nah,
We ain't
never
losing.
that, man. Like I said, it's a protracted struggle. You know, it's long, it's drawn out. You know, we get fatigued, we get tired. You know, but we got to strive until we are all free, and that's in the New African Creed. We gonna strive until we are all free. You know, and that's a constant reminder for me. Is to keep pushing, man. We gonna have victories, we're gonna have losses, but it's like, look, man, we gonna pass it down to just like our elders did to us, and our ancestors did to us, man, is to continue to pass it down, until we win, and it's just staying in the fight. I think that's what, and not getting discouraged, man. By the propaganda put out by the oppressor.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Man, we most definitely appreciate you, brother. We most definitely don't want to belay the moment.
Yeah.
Man, I just want to ask you, man, we want to do a weekly political education from right here, right? A weekly political education from right here, where we get different brothers and sisters from around the country to, man, come give us a subject on political education. Man, would you be interested in something like that?
Definitely, man. Definitely. Yeah. That
Okay.
would be perfect, man. Yeah. That would be live, man. That's what's needed is the political education piece with our people, man. Just to put it out there, because you don't see that, a lot of you don't see that a lot of times, man. And man, it's a lot of people that have a wealth of knowledge, too, on a political education piece, man. And yeah, man, I would definitely be honored to be a part of that. Say we need them more sisters with political education. Yeah, they out there,
Hey,
man. They out there.
hey, matter of fact, there's a couple sisters that I'm gonna get on here, and they, woo,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
But
They coming with it, man. I see a lot of the sisters, man, out there. And we need more sisters in leadership roles too. You know what I'm saying? We got to get
because
that.
yeah, I think that male chauvinistic BS will disappear if we brothers will promote not booty pandering the sisters, but promote the sisters who we feel have the moral character, the foresight, the leadership skills,
Man,
and the
we
qualifications for the positions.
hey comrade, we be liberated overnight, man. If that happened, we be liberated overnight, bro. We be in New Africa just living it up, bro. Once that happens, you know what I'm saying? Once the sisters, man, they get, you know, man, to come in and organize, man, and educate. That's just gonna take us to the next level, man. And it's funny too, like we in Detroit, man, we man, we waiting on them. You know what I'm saying? To take, with the New African Independence Movement, man, more sisters to, but this is, it's a different concept. You know what I mean? Independence, because it's no security in this. You know what I mean? This is all or nothing. You know what I'm saying? So we waiting for more sisters to, to take that role, and welcoming, more sisters, man, help us get it together. On that front, what I'm saying? Because, some of our greatest, in the New African Independence Movement, man, like I say, Queen Mother Moore, a lot of people don't talk about her.
Ida B. Wells.
Ida B. Wells, you know, but you know how I lift up, you know, Queen Mother Moore, man, because she was a straight soldier, man. She was like I know one of the elders told her story about when they were signing the Declaration of Independence, because like I said, she was the first signer. You know, everybody was just kind of, you know, sitting back, man. She just got up, boom, you know, went and signed it. Why we called ourselves New African is because of her. We originally, Baba Omari, he was going to call, I forgot what it was going to be called, but it's going to be called something else.
Oh, okay.
But Queen Mother Moore was one of the main reasons why we call ourselves New. So a woman gave us our name. You know what I mean? So that's what, you know, a important role, man, women, you know, play in this movement. You know, so we just, you know, we just.
Did you hear what the Pac said? Got a name from a woman, and I came from
man.
a
That's
okay,
facts, man. That's facts, man. You know, a woman gave us.
Don't you recognize Pac as a New African?
Yeah, he is a New African, man. You know, he was chairman of New African Panthers. You know, stepfather Mutulu Shakur. You know, he came up. You know, we came up in the movement. I think Pac is a good reflection of where we need to be, man. It represents our dialectical, you know, because you had the political side of Pac, and then you had like the street side of Pac, but he reached everybody. You know, he reached so many people, man. That's why they assassinated him. You know, but yeah, he was he was a New African, man. He was definitely, you know, he did some interviews. You can look up, if you look up, you know, Tupac, Republic of New Afrika on YouTube, you can hear some of the interviews he did, you know, representing the New African Panthers back in the early 90s and 80s, man. He was dropping so much wisdom and knowledge, you know. So, yeah, I think that's definitely to you know, just Pac was at that death row. You know, we can't just tell one story. You know, we got to tell both sides. You know, that revolutionary, you know.
Right.
Aspect.
For sure, brother. Man, it has been a pleasure, brother. We most definitely look forward to conversating again.
Yeah, I hope you come to Detroit, man. You gonna try to make it down. You gonna be working,
bro. Listen, I'm sitting as you talking. I'm sitting here I'm calculating, like, man, how can I make this thing happen? But if it's meant for me to be there, I'm gonna be there, bro.
Yeah, just let me know, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, need a place to stay. You know, we got you. You know, maybe just, you know, make it down here. But yeah, it's gonna be a good build, man. To build with, you know, a lot of people here in the D. You know what I'm saying? Just to get that energy, man, because it's a lot of people, you know, doing stuff on different fronts. And you know, and just to get that, you know, to get that energy, man, and get people, you know, man, it's just that ancestral energy. You know, it's gonna be during that time. Is, you know, it's gonna be nice. Yeah, it's gonna be nice.
Man, put that flyer and that date out there, bro.
So that's, I know y'all see that, man. So that's this the 29th, March 29th, the 30th, 31st, and the 1st. That's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You know, we having New African Nation Day, 50 years in the struggle. You know, a lot of different people coming through. We got a lot of different events. We got workshops, party with a purpose, historical tours, outreach. We're doing outreach, you know, so it just, you know, we just not going to be sitting there learning, man. We going to, you know, go out. We going to be at, you know, Charles A. Wright. It's free to attend the event. You know, it's free to attend. But if you want, you know, some of the historical stuff, you know, it is a small registration fee. We got T-shirts. You know, you want to get, you know, some to commemorate the 50th. You know, you want some T-shirts, man. It's gonna be an awesome, man. It's gonna be an awesome time, man. I think it's really gonna take us. We got a think tank going on. So with some of everything. You know, we got some of everything. You know, recognizing our elders, ancestors. Just read it real quick. You know, we got the New African Women's Symposium, nation building workshops, youth nation building expo, 50 years of reflection from the elders, envisioning the future, think tank, rebuilding the win, the tour, the party with a purpose. So a lot of stuff going on, that weekend. So if you need to, if you worried about, stay, we got, people, that's willing to, let people, stay over. You got the Hush House. They're opening their doors. Baba Charles Simmons. He was with he ran, the Black Panthers. He been in the movement for years. They're opening their doors. For a small, small donation. So yeah, we gonna make it happen. We gonna make it happen. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me. Vice President Jamoke on here too as well. Reach out to us if you got any questions. But man, we just hope people can come out, man, and build with us. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, matter of fact, put the flyer in the comment section, bro.
I will do that.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Yeah. But my brother, man, it's been a pleasure.
It is,
I hope
man.
somebody get this, and man, we can keep it moving. But
Definitely.
as always, hold on, baby. Hold on.
Don't my toys.
Okay, I ain't gonna steal your toys. As always, brother, there's always love, man. There's always freedom land. There's always man, freedom first.
Yeah.
That's it.
Freedom, man. Free the land, man. By any means necessary, man. I appreciate you, man.
Man, most definitely, brother.
All right, man.
Man, thank you for tuning in. If you tuning in, and man, thank you for sharing. Peace.
All right, peace, man.